Welcome to the Workplace Wellness Matters podcast, where your wellness matters. With your host, Belinda Fly, founder and CEO of HR Board and More, and Dr. Andrew Watley, wellness coach and mental health consultant. This podcast is made possible by the generosity of our sponsors. As always, thank you for your support and commitment to workplace wellness. I'm your announcer, Ari Johnson. Now let's join this episode of Workplace Wellness Matters.
All right, and we're back. I'm always so happy to be here. Welcome to the Workplace Wellness Matters podcast, where I'm your co-host, Belinda Fly, with my amazing co-host,
Dr. Andrew Watley.
Dr. Andrew Watley. Yay. So glad to be here with you again in this beautiful month of February. I just want to say again, thank you to our listeners, our new followers. I'm so excited about the new followers, supporters of our efforts, our sponsors. If you are interested in being one of our sponsors, you can email us at info@betterworkplacewellness.com. That's info at betterworkplacewellness.com. You can see our sponsorship opportunities. On the website,
Hmm.
betterworkplacewellness.com. You'll see the information for the sponsorship opportunities. You can also, at that info at, send us topics that you would like us to talk about. We got a really good list of topics from our listeners of things, and we have been hitting those topics hard this year,
Hmm.
and want you all to continue to send us things that you want us to talk about on the podcast, because we definitely love hearing from you. What am I missing before we jump in, Andrew? What am I missing?
I think that is
I covered
it.
everything. All
I
right.
think so. Good
I think
job.
so. But thank you. We have been talking a lot. The new year came in, January was my birthday month. I'm gonna probably say that every podcast. And then
Nobody forget. It's
nobody
coming
forget.
back.
It's every 12 months. And then we got into, February. Here we are already at the end. I just say this time, man, at the end of the
Year is
second
flying.
month. It's fine already. We're at the end because we're here every Monday, right? So we're at the end of the second month of 2026. I just like to say it to put it in perspective. And
It's
so we've been talking
crazy.
a lot about choosing yourself, right? Making yourself a
Hmm.
priority. We've been talking about like no is a complete statement. We talked about last week. And so we thought it would be great if, as we close out February, we thought it would be great to talk about how to sustain self-care, right? Like
Hmm.
sustaining self-care. Like we think of it as like this one isolated thing. And I think at the end of the year and at the top of the year, there's a lot of conversation about self-care, like what to do. But then like as the weeks go by, as the months go by, like how are we sustaining it? So that's kind of what we're gonna talk about today. What do you think, Andrew?
Hmm. I think it's a good topic.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's easy. Last week, we talked about saying no, and it's easy
Mm-hmm.
to say no once in a while. But what happens
Mm-hmm.
when it becomes a habit? Like, how do we sustain that? How do
Mm-hmm.
we continue to put ourselves first?
Yeah.
Becoming a priority, or making something a priority. That
Mm-hmm.
takes habit. That takes time. That takes effort. So we
Mm-hmm.
definitely need to just get into how to do that. How do we?
Yeah.
I need help with it.
Yeah, we
So
all do.
hopefully,
Like,
this helps with
and this is,
everybody.
yeah, this is what I think is so cool about our podcast. Is like we're not coming to you in a place of we figured all of these things out. We are a part
Hmm.
of this journey too in our lives. And even though
Hmm.
like Andrew and I talk about this stuff a lot, like outside of the podcast, on the podcast with you, but
Right.
like we also share, right, with each other. How are you doing with
Hmm.
this? And how are you? And we help each other, right? Figuring, you got to go back into, what this. So that's kind of the thing that we're sharing with you today is like how to sustain it. Like it's not just this one time choosing yourself, right?
Hmm.
And so we started off podcast before last. We said like start here, start with what makes you happy, right?
I think
And
that's
I
what
and
we
yeah,
begin
I
for sure.
meant to have that silent pause. Like that was that was good. That was good.
Y'all think
That's
on that for a minute.
exactly
I
what I
definitely
wanted.
started thinking.
That's exactly we both did. But I want, but that's what that's how I wanted it to land. I want you to start with what makes you happy, because this is not something that we think about enough. So in thinking about self-care, what do I need and how to sustain, like what makes you happy? Like what are the
That's
things?
such a deep question.
I know I can be deep sometimes. I mean, I you know,
Killing
I'm
it.
actually listen, I'm actually gonna go a little bit deeper in a second if you can believe it.
Let's go. I'm ready.
What here it is. So here are the, like, write these down, like really, right? Like I don't say that often. Like write these down. Like one, what makes
Hmm.
you happy? What is bringing you joy, making you happy? Two, here is the question that we can talk about. I'm not even kidding. I can find a way to put this into every single episode that we will ever do. And that
Hmm.
number two is, what do you need?
What do you need? Mm,
I just want the silent part. Listen, what
I mean, they.
though
I'm.
these two are enough. Really.
What makes you
What
happy,
is
and
make
what do
what
you
makes you
need?
happy? Like what makes you two, what do you need? Not just what do you need right now? Because that's going to constantly change.
Mm,
But I want you to tie what you need to what's making you happy. I want you to distinguish, like, I want this versus no, I need this. In order for me to like prioritize my self care, my well being, my emotional, physical, spiritual, financial well being, I need what? And these things are going to be different for everybody. But these are the things that I want all of us as early in the year as it, I want us to think about, but not just one time. I want us to constantly revisit this list every time we're
mm,
feeling like stretched and like, oh, I don't think I'm doing so good with myself. Pull these two things out. What's making you happy right now? That's going to change. And
hmm.
what do you need? And what do you need right now?
I think going into that though, like how, because again, you threw out those silent pauses and everything,
Right,
and
right.
since we started talking, like I still don't know if I know the answer. So how, or do you have any suggestions on how a person figures that out? How do I figure out what
Yeah,
makes me happy? And then how
yeah.
do I figure out what do I need right now? Because life is so loud. Life
Mm-hmm.
is loud, and so the themes of our topics have been about self-care and really putting yourself as a priority, saying no, all of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How can I quiet down enough to
Mm-hmm.
really consider myself and say, these are the things, or this is the thing that makes me happy,
Mm-hmm.
and right now at this moment, this is what I need.
So that's the record. So here is all of our homework, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you've heard me say, and I said all of us, it's all of our homework. So
Mm-hmm.
I am a person that I want things on my calendar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And chances are, if it's not there, I may forget. It may or may not happen. There's more like possibility of it happening if it's on the calendar. And I'm just talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does not work this way, like live this way. So much so that when my son was in like, I don't know what grade he was in school. Of course, he's in college now, but I had on my calendar, I would, this is going to sound like weird at first, but I'll explain. I had on there, on my work calendar, leave to
Mm-hmm.
pick Albert up from school. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so somebody might say, why do you need to, remind yourself or put on the calendar to pick your child up? It wasn't that. It was time. It was time. And so for scheduling purposes, I wanted nothing scheduled in between the time that I needed to leave and pick him up. I wanted uninterrupted time here. So
Mm-hmm.
don't schedule anything during this time. I promise I'm making a point. Bear with me. Um, I wanted time on a calendar that said every day, leave to pick him up from school, which gave me the buffer of what time to leave, which would give me the time to be there to pick him up on time every single day. What are you saying? Schedule time with yourself
Hmm.
and think about these things. The only way to come up with like what makes me happy, because again, that's going to change. The thing
Right.
that made me happy last year may be completely different from the thing that's
Mm-hmm.
making me happy this year. It happy is based on what is happening. It's not joy. These are two different things,
Right.
right?
Say
I'm
that one
happy.
again.
Yeah, happy is based on what is happening. It's not joy. Joy is a constant thing that internal. There's joy or not, right? Joy or pain, right? But happy is
Mm-hmm.
like what's happening that's making me something is happening that is making me happy. What's happening, and that's going
Mm-hmm.
to change all day. That's going to change every day. So you have to
Right.
sit with yourself. You have to schedule this time with yourself. I call it think time. Schedule
Think
time,
time.
like maybe it's the start of the day. Maybe people meditate, people have quiet time at the start of the day, maybe at the end of the day when things are kind of like winding down. Like what made me happy today, because again, it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to be the same thing every day or every week or every month. So when I say like what's making me happy, like it could be something in my family,
Mm-hmm.
it could be an accomplishment in my career and with work. It
Mm-hmm.
could be a personal, relationship. Something happened that made me happy. Like what's making me happy? Like, and here's a good one too. When we think about workplace culture and we think about, prioritizing,
Mm-hmm.
where did I feel happy? Who was I with? What was I doing where I felt happy?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Some reflection.
just thinking, yeah, like thinking about the day or the day before. What
Mm-hmm.
was I doing when I felt my best? Who was I
Mm-hmm.
with? Was I talking
Mm-hmm.
to somebody? Was I working with a certain person on a project? Was I
Mm-hmm.
in a meet? Like, what is the theme? Like, think about where you felt your most productive. You're happy. Like, what felt good? Where were the good vibes? Where were those
Mm-hmm.
things? Personally, who was I with? Who was I, engaging with, exchanging with? Who was I talking to? What was I doing? What food was I eating? Where was I? Like, you get all these things, right? Right, think about
Mm-hmm.
those and like make some notes, and then like what do I need to feel that more?
Right. Right.
What do I need to feel good about work, myself, my life? What do I need more of to continue in that feeling? Please realize, put a pin. You're not gonna like every day, like 24/7, is not gonna be happy. I want to be real, real honest.
No.
Like life is life and life is
Life is
lifing.
life.
Okay. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna, but when you have those moments, I want you to think about what was I doing? What made me
Right.
happy? What made me smile today?
Mm.
Who was I talking to? Like talking to Andrew makes me smile. He knows this. Like I could be having a crummy,
Same.
crappy, jacked up day. I'm like, Drew, I need to talk. And we hop on the
We end
on the
up
call.
cracking up. By the end of the
Listen, like
conversation, we are
what's make
cracking up.
and so where are those people in your space?
But let's look with that too, though. With that, like you're saying, I think too, we can think about the people that were there and the places that I was and all of that. But that happiness, there's got to be something that comes from the inside too, right? Because, I know,
Could be, yeah, for
hey, I
sure.
like food, I like eating.
What were you
So,
eating? Right.
if I go to this restaurant because, the vibe of this place makes me happy, I can put a lot of
Yes.
pressure on this place to do the same thing.
Yes.
So the location counts, but there's got to be something, and that's what,
Mm-hmm.
the challenge, and I think that's what we all need to do, is
Mm-hmm.
figuring out how I was making me happy when I was with these people, how I
Mm-hmm.
became happy when I was at this place, so really
Mm-hmm.
digging down deep and figuring that out as well. Because, like you said, people aren't always going to make you happy. The people that make you happy now,
Mm-mm.
sometimes they won't.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a relationship, you get it. If you got
Mm-hmm.
friends, you get it. your siblings,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, parents,
Mm-hmm.
the people who make you happy sometimes always won't do that. Favorite
Mm-hmm.
restaurant. Sometimes I could go to this restaurant and the meal that I got last time, I get the same meal, but maybe they
Yeah.
cooked it wrong this time.
Yep.
And
It
that
fell a
won't
little
make me
short.
happy, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's
Mm-hmm.